listening to our podcast like religiously. Like it comes up on her Spotify when there's a new episode and she listens to it. And she was like, yeah, just when I'm doing stuff around the house, I really like it. And I'm like, Susie, you're like our most authentic listener. I was like, what do you want more of? What do you need less of? And she was like, I really like the banter.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, more banter. Check. So we should have had that banter that we just had.
Yeah, I mean, it works. More banter.
That voodoo that you do so good.
That you do.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm doing my second take.
So, welcome back.
You do it. Or am I doing it?
Drum roll. No. I'm going to introduce you. You're going to introduce the podcast.
Okay.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Best Friend Files. And today we have a special message from our host, Jen.
Hi, guys. We are talking today about the famous Elon Musk and the not as famous but far more frightening topic, his dad. With a name somehow stranger than Elon, Errol, spelled E-R-R-O-L, is his dad, and among other things than having Elon, we just need to get into it. Frankly, when I think about it, I am lost for words, because this man should be in prison for multiple different things. He's not. He's never been there. I don't know what South Africa's penal system is like, but oh my God.
I don't know the specifics, so I'm excited to hear what you have here. And I will say, though, I'm a huge Elon Musk fan, and I do remember, like, one of the, like, documentaries on him that I watched, they played a clip of him kind of, like, talking about his dad and, like, his childhood, and he was just, like, not having it. Like, he was just, like, that's all I remember. Like, I don't remember the details, but I just remember him being, like, basically my dad was a dick, and I haven't looked back since. You know what I mean?
Elon is quoted in like an interview when talking about his dad. He says that he admits his father is, quote, brilliant in engineering, despite being an overall, quote, unquote, terrible human being.
Can I just tell you on a random side note that when I like went to go Google Errol for this, another article came up and led me down like this like rabbit hole, and I got to somehow, apparently after Taylor Swift had come out and said like, you know, signed like a childless cat lady. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that? Like before the election? Mm-hmm. Apparently Elon Musk's response to that, which I didn't know, and I find this, honestly, it was probably like the hottest thing that I think I've heard him say. Ironically, he was like, okay, Taylor, you win. I'll impregnate you and guard your like 192 cats with my life. And I thought that was funny. And because his stance on, you know, being so pro have a bunch of children. Yes. But I just thought that was hilarious that he was like, all right, Taylor, I'll put a baby in you. I'm like, that's fucking alpha right there.
Like, I mean, he's not even really like using a double entendre and saying like that she has a different meaning. He's just literally like, I am deciding for you that if you're admitting that you basically just have cats, you need to be impregnated. So I'm going to do it. She also has a high IQ, so it wouldn't be a bad idea for him if he wants to have like a genius baby. Probably be.
Well, I was going to say, and being a musician, because I mean, I think that's why he has like those 3 with Grimes.
Oh, yeah. She probably has a high IQ, too. When I was, like, Googling stuff before this, there's so many celebrities that have high IQs. Like, Michael Jackson, Lady Gaga, Snoop Dogg. His IQ is, like, 140-something.
Interesting.
Right? Mm-hmm. It's really crazy. Okay. Born and raised in South Africa. He was an engineer and businessman. So he was like a really good engineer. In 2018, Errol made headlines and had some news written about him because he became a father yet again. with his stepdaughter, Jana Bezuidenhout.
I do remember reading about that when that happened. Now that you say that. So we have a stage 6 groomer on our hands.
Yeah. At the time, Errol was 72 and Bezuidenhout was 30. He described the pregnancy to Mail Online in 2018 as an accident. You know, because penises slip into your daughter's vagina. You know how you accidentally impregnate your daughter. You know.
Yeah, there's the good old slip and fall. They call that the South African slip and fall. Yeah, for sure.
That's the South African slide. You know how you accidentally impregnate your daughter. We've all been there. I mean, give me a break. If I had $1. So it was an accident, and both Jana and their son were living with him, but he said, even though they're living with me, we're not in a relationship. And then, in 2022, he fathered another child with Jana. He was 76, so she was 34. And he said she wasn't planned, adding that he no longer lives with Jana, although they, quote, have a lot of affection for each other. You mean sexual attraction and grooming? You mean there's a lot of assault? Okay. And the children come to visit. So he was asked 3 years after his daughter was born, will you procreate again? And he said, quote, the only thing we are on earth for is to reproduce. So if I could have another child, I would. I can't see any reason not to. I can, because you were sleeping with her mom. And that is so creepy and predatory. Also, this is interesting. He says...
I'm interested to know... I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm interested to know, when was he her stepdaughter? Or when was he her when was he her stepdad?
Yes.
I also would like to know these details, because, if she was, grown, but how can she be if she's, 32 when this fucking kid...
He was 30, and he was 72.
Yeah, so, but I mean, that's, when she slept with him. So, when was he herself? Was it just, 5 years ago? You know what I mean?
No. Hang on.
Either way, it's weird, but it's different. If she's, 25.
Oh, no, I know what you mean.
And then he's like, I don't want you, I want your daughter. Okay, I guess that's one thing. But, if she's, if he, raised her, that is a whole nother level of... that's criminal.
So, Errol says that he was married to Heidi, who's Jana's mom, for 2 years during the 90s. So 2018, back it up, 18 years, we're in the 2000s. Let's be generous and just go right to 2000. So what's 30 minus 18?
How old is she? Wait, she's 37.
She was 32 in 2018.
I'm saying now. I'm just saying now, to use now. So she's 37 now.
She's 38. She's a year younger than us. So
in the 90s, she was a young...
In 1990, I was 5.
Yeah. Yeah, so she was 12?
Yeah, so he met her...
And when? And yeah, 1990. That's what I mean. We turned, I think we turned 14 in 2000, right? No, 15 in the year 2000. Yeah.
Basically right at puberty.
So that's what I'm thinking. In the 90s, at best, she was 14 years old. That is really weird.
Oh, it gets weird.
So she was between...
Yeah.
5 and 15.
And there's a picture here, and Elon looks like, he's in his 20s. And it's him with 3 of his stepsisters, and Jana's in the picture, and she's eating a bowl of cereal. She looks like a teenager. I mean, she's definitely a strikingly gorgeous teenager. Until she smiles. And I hate to be a bee, but wow. You got to see a picture with her teeth in it, because it's...
Oh, I see it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It says... So he says they were married for 2 years, in the 90s. But there's rumors, like widely reporting, that he was married to Heidi for 18 years and raised Jana as his own daughter. Errol and Heidi also have 2 children together of their own. So Jana is both the sister and aunt of her mom's kids. And they're both daughters.
Yeah.
And a sister to Alexandra and Asha. And it says that it's been reported that they were all raised together with Jana as one family. So 18 years. So from the time she's 10 to the time she's 28, he's grooming her and being like, we need to populate the world and you should let me have sex with you. And like the obvious unfortunate thing to think about here is, yeah, they had 2 kids, but like that means you have to be having a lot more sex than twice. So how long's that been going on?
Yeah. And this guy is not that I think there is such thing as an attractive 70-year-old, but like this guy wasn't even hot when he was younger.
No.
This is disgusting.
No. There is a story that Kimbal Musk tells of Elon basically being beaten almost to death. And it's a good explanation of like how violent where they grew up in South Africa was. And he basically says that white people were the most dangerous. Because the black people, you know, they had different tribes. And so like they kind of all knew who to stay away from and the boundaries there. But the white violence was anybody. And so just people were just getting targeted for no reason, any reason. And he also talks about how...
Can I just say that the concept of the South African culture situation there is still to this day absolutely wild to me.
I don't understand
like it's
it.
Just like I don't really, you know what I mean? It's like it's something that I don't think that much about, to be honest. And when I do, I'm always like, man, like what did that even look like?
It's like the Wild West, but an entire country.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know, man.
And then you're like, you know what I mean? Like you kind of carve out like your little section of it.
This is mine.
And you're like, we're going to try to be civilized like right here.
If you touch it, I'm going to kill you.
This is where we're going to bring our English bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just like wild.
Yeah. Yes.
I would like to go there, I guess, one day.
I would love to go to South Africa. Well, although it is really, it's really dangerous. Like, it's really dangerous.
Yeah. As I say, it's far down on the list of like...
Like, I watch a lot of 90 Day Fiance, as you know, so...
Honestly, the whole continent of Africa is pretty far down on my list of going there. It's just, there's lions and shit and tigers just running around and then in natural.
I mean, I would love to go to Botswana and do, like, a safari, but... I mean,
like I'd want to go to like a little island of some sort, you know?
Yeah.
Like eat, love, pray. Yes, absolutely. I'd love to go to like Bali. Like I don't know, but Africa, there's lions just like running around.
No, I would want to see the lions. I would definitely want to do like a Rothschild safari because I feel like not that they're tame animals, but like they know what they're doing.
Well, yeah, but like a safari, like because you're ready. But I'm just picturing like anywhere. Like, how do you know that like a lion's just not going to come up out of the drain and get you? Like,
yeah, no. Even like a monkey, like they're aggressive, dude. Like a monkey will take your passport and disappear.
That's why, like, it's beautiful. Like, I would love to go there.
Yeah. Yep.
But it just seems like if I had to pick the most dangerous continent. It feels like that's it.
Yep.
To me.
Well, right under like Israel.
Well, the Middle East, but that's not that's people. That's making it dangerous. I'm saying like naturally.
Are there dangerous creatures in the Middle East, like animals? Do they have like pythons or like, you know?
I mean, it's the desert, so it's gonna be like out west. I'm sure there's like snakes and, you know, like, but it's just desert.
Yeah. Not bad. Let's talk about how Errol murdered 3 people. So...
Oh, he killed people too. So he groomed his stepdaughter, impregnated her. Okay.
He's a piece of shit. This is from the South African.
Ooh.
It's an article from January 10th, 2022. In 1998, Errol was at his house in South Africa. His daughter, Ali, was 6 at the time, which I think is important to remember. So, according to him, he went to Johannesburg to check on a rental property, and it was being renovated before people moved into it. When he got home, his daughter, who's now 29 but was 6 at the time, wanted to take a bath, and when he went to get her a towel, so it sounds like she's in the bathroom and the towel is not in the bathroom, so he has to leave the bathroom, go somewhere else. 7 men confront him in the lounge area and open fire upon sight. Quote, as soon as they saw me, they started shooting at me. Unharmed after a hail of bullets, Errol claims he hurried to grab his .357 Magnum. Quote, they opened up on me. I killed 3. 1 bullet went through 2 of them. Quote, I took the first guy out through the head. The police found him with the top of his head missing. Quote, I was using hollow point ammunition, so the round broke up and the shrapnel hit the guy behind him in the chest. Further detailing, Errol said only one guy remained after his first shot as the others ran away. Quote, we both fired at the same time. I hit him in the groin and I thought he had hit me. I looked down to see where I was shot. He added that if it wasn't for the partially open vinyl expandable, which was standing behind, what the hell is a vinyl expandable? Like a wall? Yeah. Because he says, if it wasn't for the partially open vinyl expandable, which he was standing behind, the bullet would have hit him, quote, square in the chest. Errol Musk revealed that his daughter ran to him and stood naked and shivering when she heard gunshots, comparing himself to American actor and director Clint Eastwood. Quote, she was next to me during the whole thing. She clung to me like a monkey but kept quiet through the whole thing. She didn't scream or cry. He further claimed that his daughter was not traumatized by the incident because, quote, dad won, end quote. This, he says, is due to Ali Afrikaner genes, which she gets from her mother, Heidi. Heidi is also his stepdaughter, Jana's mother. Errol claims he was later charged with manslaughter over the incident, but was acquitted because he acted in self-defense. In addition, he said he lost hearing in his right ear due to the incident, but said it was a, quote, cheap price to pay. Bragging about his sharpshooting skills, Errol says he won the South African National Defense Force's shooting championships for the gunfight. Thoughts?
One thing stands out. His daughter was sleeping.
She was 6 and she was taking a bath waiting for a towel.
Oh, she was taking a bath.
Yeah. And on his account, when 7 people opened fire on him, his 6-year-old daughter got out of the bathtub, opened the door to the bathroom, ran into the room where the gunfire was happening, and clung to her dad as he returned fire.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
And she was naked. I've been to a shooting range with ear protection on. It's earth-shatteringly loud. If you're in a house and somebody shoots a gun, that's why when people, when you listen to the accounts of people on, the First 48 or, true crime shows, they always say, and then bang, bang, because the most incredible thing about a gunshot isn't the bullet, it's the sound. It's deafeningly loud. He says he had hearing damage. So you mean to tell me your 6-year-old, that would mean, imagine if a bunch of gunshots went off in my living room right now. He's not going to run out here.
Yeah. That's just wild. That's the last thing a kid would do.
And then cling to you while you're returning fire? You wouldn't be like, get out of here, go to your room. You're going to let her cling to you and be silent the whole time? What? Which, this guy, of course, is. I'm sure.
It's just such a weird.
So he was never charged, and they never found any, I don't think they found any of these guys, which to me is a humongous deal. How did you not Let me see if he found let me just verify.
Wait, what do you mean he never found the guys?
Because he said he killed 3 of them. There were 7 total. So you're in the
Oh.
bathroom with your daughter and 7 men come into your house and you have no idea. So that's number 1. Number 2, you open the door to the bathroom and 7 people start shooting at you and you're not hit. And then somehow you get to a loaded weapon immediately. And with 2 bullets, kill 3 people. The other 4 run away. And like they're never found. I don't know. I mean,
I smell a rat.
it's crazy. I'm going to check this other one to see if they ever found him. I took the first guy out through the head. The police found him with the top of his head missing. Also, like, that's not something you say if you were defending yourself and you're like, you know, really in shock and everything. Like, when they found him, his head was missing. The top of his head was missing. That's like a brutal thing to say. I know that it was in self-defense, but like, I just think it's a little soon. I don't know. It just doesn't sound like it sounds like someone who's bragging, and I don't know why you're bragging.
Well, yeah, I mean, even him, like, I won the whatever. He was, you know what I mean? Like, at the gun range, like, okay. I mean, he's clearly, like, I don't like the term because it's overused, but this is clearly what they mean when they say, like, toxic masculinity. Like, we're in that territory at this point. This is just unchecked.
Yeah.
Testosterone-driven, primitive brain behavior.
I mean, we're here to procreate is like, I hear you. Like, I get it, Errol. We all took biology, but
it's like he's a Neanderthal, like literally. You know what I mean? Like he's like, yeah, of course I just like beat my stepdaughter over the head with a club and then impregnate her. What are you talking about?
Wait till you hear how fucked up he was to his kids. Like, oh my God. So as he's like saying the story, the interviewer asks Errol if he felt like Clint Eastwood at that moment, and his response was, quote, "Well, you can say so. Yeah, why not? I don't know, because it's murder, and Clint Eastwood's an actor." That's just a couple things that come to mind real quick, if you're asking for real. Yeah, nope, they never found anyone. So my thought is like, he met up with some people on purpose, brought his daughter as like protection. She was in the tub to wash blood off of her after, so he made up an excuse about how she had been in the tub because he knew her hair was going to be wet. And he shot these 2 guys, and then he made up a story. Done.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, checks out. I don't know. I don't know how you're getting to a gun that fast. It's crazy. Yeah, cleared of all charges. And also, when have you ever heard of that? Like, if this man was a Puerto Rican American, he'd be doing life.
Well, where did this happen? Was it in South Africa?
Yeah, yep.
Well, isn't that one of the most corrupt governments?
I don't know, is it?
I think it's pretty corrupt. I thought it's pretty corrupt. You know what I mean? Surprised that.
Yeah.
Because he was a.
Let's see.
What did he do?
Errol, he was an engineer. Oh, that was kind of my other point.
So I mean.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. So I mean, clearly he probably had like some type of money and status, and no matter what he did, he could probably just be like, let's just look the other way, boys.
Yeah. Yep. He was a very, very prominent engineer, which then to his point, if we're just here to procreate, like, why are you excelling science and, engineering? Like, why are you advancing engineering? It goes to show that, like, there are other purposes. So you shouldn't need to be saying things like, why not impregnate someone at 78? Because you can't have an active role in that child's life, and it's going to have an impact on them, a real impact when their dad dies when they're 6 because he's old.
Right.
Like, what do you mean? You don't see why not? He's just psycho. Okay, I'm gonna.
Well, that's why like I laugh when there's like I feel like there's this like narrative sometimes where it's like, oh yeah, you know, like women have a biological clock and like men don't, and it's like they can't even get that shit up after
Bruh.
like a few years after most women go through menopause.
For real.
Like, so yeah, maybe technically they're still making sperm, but
Okay, so I just sent you a link in Skype. Is that gonna work? Can you like listen to it right now?
Skype. Why are you sending me links in Skype?
Well, because it's this video of Kimbal, and it's 8 minutes, and then there's another one that's 3 minutes, and I'm like, instead of me, because I don't remember everything in it, so I'm like, if we just watch it together, then
Do I even still have Skype?
we can like watch and comment. I can text it to you. I just gotta type it out. Hang on.
Did I get rid of Skype?
No, you would never.
I think I did, because I was like, oh, we're not using this.
How dare you?
I'm sorry.
Oh, you don't sound sorry. That's what I'll say there.
I mean, I literally never use Skype.
I mean, yeah, me either. Unless I'm working at a job that uses Skype, which I haven't in years.
Oh, everybody's down with the Teams now.
I know, it's all the rage.
I feel like everything's done through Teams.
Yep. Okay, there it is. Are you down to do that, to listen to an 8-minute video followed by a 3-minute video?
Sure.
Calm down. Stop sounding so excited.
I'm sorry. That was like an absent answer because I don't know why it wasn't playing it. I'm like, oh, there we go.
Okay, 1, 2.
Wow. And I think, first of all, the first thing, the end of it stood out to me, saying that he doesn't, they left it in the past and he doesn't see that being reconciled.
Yeah.
Like, that is exactly the same tone that I remember from, like, Elon. Like, and how he said, like, well, we're not going back. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, that was, like, the tone of, like, whatever that their father did to them, they were just, like, absolutely not.
Yep. Like, the fact that we probably wouldn't have SpaceX if his dad wasn't what sounds like a psychopath, because they just refused to not be successful, because the alternative of spending another second in a psychologically violent home was just like not an option.
Well, it's not even, I mean, and the way he eloquently described like his experience in South Africa. It's funny because I was just saying like how crazy that is and how I don't understand it, and like eloquently, described that. But the fact that like Elon Musk, who is quintessentially the most intelligent person of my time on Earth, could have been beaten to death at a young age in Africa. So it's like how violent, like the home was violent, the out of the home was violent. Like, it's amazing that they made it to college in the first place.
Even the brain damage from being beaten almost to death. If your face is unrecognizable, like there's a good chance so is your personality now, because you're just done. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And he's still...
That's wild.
Yeah. And I wonder, like, maybe that did impact him to where he's still very intelligent, but personality-wise, there's just traits that we will never see because they were just erased that day.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing is like, I mean, the younger you are, the more resilient you are, and your brain's pretty...
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and they are finding that the healthier or the smarter your brain is going into that type of stuff, the less of a chance it is of...
Which makes sense.
Getting damaged, which is wild.
But yeah, him describing like getting off the bus and like his shoe sticking to the ground, like he'll never forget it. I cannot imagine being 14, watching a murder, and then people being like, get off the bus. We got to go to work. And it's like, that's your introduction.
Right, with all the people behind him. Like you said, like that rush of people that usually like spills out of that. Like,
yeah.
You're like, you're going to get trampled. You better step in that blood and keep it moving.
Yep. And he did.
And the fact that like to this day, he remembers how many paces basically it took for it to like stop making that noise. Like, oh man, at 16, that's wild.
Yeah. Because it's like, it's every time it's squeaking, you're like, I have fresh blood on my shoe from someone who just died. it's there. What else can you think of? You're not going to think of gum. So yeah, just the idea that it went on constantly for hours, and like you said, he's really eloquent, and so it's not that he glosses over it, but instead of saying, literally, I remember this one time where my dad said, you are, not actually my son. You could never be. There were no examples. He just said he lived in torture, and that his dad would basically for hours just stand there and be verbally abusive to him. But then there were also moments of love. So it was like, the way he describes like his face when he's talking about those loving moments, he looks sort of alarmed. Like you can tell it was like a totally disarming experience. It wasn't like he was like, oh, I'm going to get an apology now. It was just like strange, didn't fit in. And they basically just wondered when they were going to get berated again. So I don't know what type of person does that, but not the kind that should have unlimited children through their 80s. Not that kind. There's one more that I would love for you to hear, and it talks about Elon's escape. Elon's escape. It talks about Elon and Kimbal's mom leaving Errol, which is also crazy.
I mean, for the record, I have always been absolutely obsessed with Elon Musk. Like, huge fan, decade now. Love him.
Why don't you marry him if you love him so much?
Girl, I got commitment problem. No,
Girl, I can't get married.
Girl, I can't be letting these men know that I want them.
No.
Jeez.
Insanity.
No, really though. I'm obsessed.
I don't know if that worked because it's not giving.
This video is unavailable.
I did it wrong. Hang on.
Girl.
I know.
No, but I do. He's absolutely brilliant.
Yes, no, he is true. He truly is.
I mean, I like the fact that he like challenged like Mark Zuckerberg or whatever.
What did he say?
To throw down. They were like gonna fight. Like he had challenged him to a fight.
Oh yeah, that's right. They were gonna fight. Elon would whoop his ass.
I don't think they were gonna fight, but I don't think they were gonna fight, but I think that he challenged him. And I think Mark, or did he?
There was like pretty serious talk about it where I was like, I think they're gonna. I don't think they did. They were gonna like donate the money, be all cool about it.
I think like Mark Zuckerberg is he is like the geekiest. I don't like him and I don't like Jeff Bezos.
No. Same.
I can't. I'm sorry.
Nope.
I feel like Mark Zuckerberg is like he's like wants to be like Steve Jobs. I don't know why.
Yeah, he does. He does. He wants it.
I get deep. Okay, here we go.
Okay, I'm gonna start playing it. Are you ready?
It like takes a second for some reason.
Okay, let me know.
Okay, I think it's ready. Hold on.
So cool. Yeah, so basically, she was in something really popular. Was it like a Revlon commercial? Maybe, no.
I believe so, yeah. I mean, I think she was in like CoverGirl. I think she's done like all of them.
Yeah, but she got big because Rihanna put her in an ad in a runway show. I remember hearing like, oh, they got this 67-year-old model, and that was her. But yeah, just saying that like the day divorce became legal, she left at midnight with Elon and Errol and what's her name, Tosca in the car, and that like it also stuck out that he said he would have physically prevented my mom from leaving because he did get physical with her, less so with us. He didn't say not us like he did in the first clip. He said less so. So that makes me feel like based on what Errol was doing to his mother, it wasn't that physical for them,
Yeah.
Which, like, what does that mean? You're only getting shoved into furniture? You're not getting punched? Like, great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, seeing all of his other views, I could see how he could think it's okay to physically or, verbally and psychologically abuse your children. And I'm sure he was manhandling her.
Oh, yeah.
Just, again, based on everything else, I'm sure that he 100% was like, no, you're going to do exactly what I tell you to do, and I'll beat you if you don't. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Errol Musk, just a true piece of shit, should be doing life in prison for a triple homicide. I don't get it,
And the incestual grooming of his stepdaughter.
Yeah, like...
That's gross.
What?
Gross.
Dude, ew. We have affection for each other? That's cuddling with your clothes on.
I also feel like good for them. Like, I'm glad that they have all found like so much success and happiness, hopefully. Mm-hmm. Because it sounds like the first couple of years were not a good time.
No, straight up, no one was having a good time. It was terrible. Hang on, let me see if I have anything else on him. I saved some links. We did that one.
Definitely am gonna check out her book to see. I would definitely
This is just another
read that.
one.
Also, I recently saw, I think it was like right after the election, I saw like an interview with her, and she was talking about how her whole life she had been a Democrat, basically. Well, her whole life living in America.
Wait, who is this?
Maye Musk, his mother.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She had said that she, her whole life had been a Democrat, and that it wasn't until recently, basically, when she saw everything that everyone was saying about Elon that was wrong or incorrect, it made her realize like how biased like everything was, and it made her just like start to doubt basically like everything that she had thought she had known, because obviously she knows her son and she knows what's true, and then she's seeing what is coming out on the news and on the media and everything, and she was just like, well, wait a minute, like that's not true. And it just kind of made her like completely rethink everything, and then that's how she actually ended up like ditching the Democratic Party.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is interesting. So when Errol told the story of him murdering 3 people, it was right after Elon tweeted basically like about them being estranged. And Elon said that his dad ran out of money in the 90s. So at the time that he was married to Heidi, and he and his brother financially supported him on the condition that he, quote, not do bad things. Unfortunately, according to Elon, he did.
Yikes.
So I don't know if that bad thing was continuing to abuse Heidi's daughter, maybe, because they would have been married at that point, and he probably was like starting to groom her, maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
And Elon also said, in addition to Errol being a terrible human being, he's done, quote, almost every evil thing, end quote, imaginable. So,
Well, and then you gotta just wonder the language they're using. Like, it's one thing to be like, dude's a dog, dude's gross, dude's creepy, he's this. But, like, every evil thing.
right. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Why is no one checking on this girl? Heidi, where are you? Call your daughter. She's not okay. Well, Heidi's probably not okay either. I mean, he probably groomed her that, like, she's supposed to give Errol her daughter.
So weird. Well,
That's what happens in, like, the frickin' LDS. It's like these dudes feel privileged to have their daughter be, quote, chosen. And it's like, bro, she's chosen because she's 13.
yeah.
That's it. That's the requirement. So, yeah. Errol, I don't like you at all. I mean...
Yeah, we're not. I hope we're just he's not a U.S. citizen. He doesn't live here. We're not.
No.
Let's not
he's
let him in
South Africa.
if we can do that.
No.
That'd be great.
Can we ban him? I mean, I'm sure Elon's on it, you know? He's on the Trump administration pretty much. At this
Yep,
point.
he's on the DOGE board.
Let's go. Lock his ass out. He's like, I already did it, girls. Please. That was 47 days ago. Read the agenda. So yeah, that's it. He sucks. He does not have his shit together. And I think what's so interesting about this is because you have a parent who could like work on some things, you just decide you're never going to become that and that you're going to be like better in spite of it. And I really take away a positive from it, even though Errol's an absolute trash bag and those poor kids literally have like a walking corpse as a dad. You can still be so great. It really doesn't define you, even if it internally does.
I love too that he brought up the attachment styles.
Yes.
That was like so kismet. We're on the same wavelength, Kimbal. But yeah, and I think that just being aware and like how he, and I love that he even jokingly is like, they're gonna end up in therapy.
Yeah.
Like regardless. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Which is honestly, like we had said before, that is the hope, is that people can start to go to therapy before there's a problem. Like everybody just goes to therapy,
Right.
and it's not necessarily just like something you need to do when you're having an issue. But
Right. It's very normal in other cultures to have a therapist, because then it's like your mom dies and like you've been seeing your therapist for 2 years, so you can be like, I need an emergency appointment. They're already ready. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, just like having like some type of loose, even if you just go once a year, like you do your doctor, like just
Right.
a loose relationship of some sort, so
Right.
that you're taken care of if you need it. But like I think having that self-awareness that like he had of just like there's the secure attachments, and then there's like he called it, I think, chaotic attachments, and like
Yeah.
how he works on it. And I also love that he had credited his wife as well, saying like his wife has
Yes.
helped him to connect with his children.
Yes.
Because I think that that is like so important, is that like I feel like a lot of times like women are just like most things, man, like why isn't my man acting like a woman?
right. And he's like, hey, I went to my wife for the strength she has, and she helped me because I couldn't go to a man for this.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So I just feel like that, I like that he kind of pointed that out, because yeah, sometimes you have to help them in those things that are more intuitive to women.
Yeah. Love it.
Love it. Love all of it. Hate him.
Definitely
love
hate
the
him.
rest of
Love
them.
everyone else. Chaotic attachment is a term that describes a disorganized attachment style, which I would say is incredibly fitting. In our last episode on attachment styles, disorganized is almost exclusively related to trauma. So, yes.
Well, I think that wraps up our latest episode of the Best Friend Files. If you are listening, please like, subscribe, tell your friends, share it. And if there's something that you would like us to talk about, please email us at bestfriendfiles@gmail.com.
Yes, please. And thank you.
Bye.
Bye.